Hi everyone, welcome to MH Weekenders. I'm Daniel Davis, staff writer for Men's Health UK, and I'm here with the Destroyer, Conor Benn. How you doing, Conor?
Yeah, not too bad, mate. Not too bad. How you doing?
I'm really good, man. It's a real pleasure to have you here, man. Really excited for this. I'm really excited to speak to you about your career and about what kind of boxing's taught you. So I've got some questions for you. Our readers have got some questions for you. But I just want to start with your last fight against Formella. So Eddie Hearn, he called that your coming out fight. Is that the way you saw it too?
Definitely. To be funny, I saw it like my debut all over again. This was one where, I saw a breakaway from the shadows of being the son of a living legend. People thought this fight was a step too far, thought it was a fight too soon. And that can't help but spur you on. And that's exactly what it done. So it was a big challenge. People were painting this picture as it was going to be a lot harder fight than I thought. But, I went in there, got the job done. I've had harder sparring sessions than that. So it's the truth. So when you look at it like that, there's always room to grow. There's always room for improvement. And every time I've come back off a layoff, I've come back better. That's when I'm most dangerous. There ain't no such thing as ring rust for me.
I just want to take you back to the kind of beginning of your career then. So from my research, you didn't start boxing until you were like 17, 18, did you? Is that right?
Correct, yes.
So what kind of happened to you at 17 to make you want to get into the ring?
I don't really know. One door closes, another door opens. Opportunity presents itself. You're young, you're ambitious, you're hungry to be successful. In whatever industry it is, you're driven. I was very driven at 17, still am, but at 17 I was very driven, and any opportunity that presented itself, I'd take it. An opportunity got presented to me and I took it. And here I am. That's sort of how that's gone down. And that's exactly how that went down. An opportunity presented itself. Was I ready? Probably not. Did I take it? Yes. Do I regret it? No. So, and that's how that went down. You can live out of fear and not make decisions based on worry and concern. Sometimes you just got to throw the dice, and that's exactly what I've done.
Like you said, you're the son of a legend. There must have been pressure on you to get in the ring prior to 17. So was there that pressure there, and then did you feel it when you got into the ring eventually?
No, there was no pressure from my family, no pressure from the media. I didn't plan on turning pro. I was going to have a few more amateur fights here, fight for the ABAs in England when I moved here from Australia. But no, there was no pressure at all until I turned pro. And then when I turned pro and I was open to the public for criticism, for praise, there was that expectation to meet the style of fighting, the entertainment that my dad brought to the industry. With me being so young and turned over really a novice with 20 amateur fights, there was that expectation. There was that pressure once I had already turned pro. And then after my, I'd say, 13th fight was when the pressure was completely gone. Like, I've done it 13 times now. I've entertained 13 times. It's not a fluke. It's the way I fight. And, you guys are in for a treat. After my 13th fight, I was like, you guys are in for a treat. Because I ain't got to do this. I ain't got to try hard to entertain. It's just who I am.
You're an exciting fighter. Your dad, and for people who don't know, that's Nigel Benn, the Dart Destroyer, was an exciting fighter. And you obviously, when you were a kid, you saw that kind of excitement, but you saw how much risk that opens you up to as well. Was that did you think, did that ever make you stop and want to not get into it?
No, my dad shielded his career from me. So when you're saying I knew about my dad, I didn't. I didn't know who my dad was until I come to England from Spain for him to do a Q&A. And it was just unbelievable. We got bombarded with pictures and people were loving it. I was like, cool, that's my dad. I didn't realise, this man's like the OG. Do you know what I mean? I didn't realise that. So my dad shielded that from me. He was my dad to me for a very long time.
Do you want to just kind of go through where you grew up then? Was it Spain and Australia? Or?
Yeah, so I grew up in Spain, Mallorca, Santa Ponza. I grew up there for 12 years, then moved to Australia for 5 years, and then come back to the UK. And yeah, I wasn't raised here.
Am I right in saying you were a PT at one point before boxing?
I'm a qualified PT. But I was a painter and decorator. I've worked in retail, I've worked in scaffolding, I've worked in painting and decorating. And then while I was painting and decorating, I got my degrees, my certificate of 3-4, and my master's degree in fitness. And so I'm a qualified personal trainer. And that's what the route I was going down before I started boxing.
What's the kind of one thing you'd say that you've learned from boxing, having been in the game a few years now, that you could have taken into any other career, any of these other careers, and it would have fed you well?
Hurdles, man. Hurdles you're going to have to overcome in anything you choose to do, and overcome them, because the reward is that much greater. And you're gonna go through turbulence. It's a way of life. But I didn't have to. I've never been through. You don't. You're a little boy. You're a young boy living at home with his mum and dad. You don't really know turbulence. Your turbulence is your girlfriend not answering a text, or that's as much as it gets. Whereas when you feel like you've hit a brick wall. Mark my words, you can climb that wall, or you can punch through that wall. There's a way around that wall, no matter what your circumstances, no matter how big the obstacle is. Mark my words, your brain and your body can overcome any obstacle set in front of him. So, and once you get through that, once you persevere diligently, you'll come through it. No matter what industry you're in, no matter what sphere you're in, you'll come through it. And that's what I've realised. Anything that life throws at me, it's not just a fight inside the ring, It's the mindset. It's a mindset in general. It's not just all technical in it. Sometimes you got to fight for what you really want. And if you really want it that bad, you will fight for it. Trust me.
Can you think of a time in your life when you have had to fight for something, or is that still to come? Is the kind of biggest challenge still to come?
I've had to fight for a lot in my personal life. I battle myself every day, whether it was the right decision to leave home and come here and raise my parents' grandson here. Got a baby due on the way, January 29th. So, and I never knew my grandparents or my uncles and my aunties because I lived there abroad my whole life. So, and I don't want that for my son. So I do battle myself whether I'm making the right decision. And there's plenty of things in my life that I've had to battle. And then some people may go, "Oh, well, that's nothing in comparison to what I've had to," but it's my reality. So if that's my reality, my struggle is just as hard as yours because that's your reality. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So for me, in my reality, that was a hard decision for me, leaving my family and then coming here and then starting my own family without my family. It's hard, and I think I don't want to regret the decision in the future. So I have to make this work. There isn't I've missed out. 5 years of my little siblings growing up. I've married. My parents had to miss out on that. My son on the way. My parents are probably going to miss out on that due to COVID. So there's a lot of things, that I could regret if I don't give everything I've got to this game.
I have heard you talk about these kind of things before, about kind of moving away from your family and the kind of the sacrifice that you've had to make. Can you just tell us about how 2020 was for you in terms of COVID, lockdowns, not being able to easily see other members of your family who are further afield?
2020 is probably the best year of my career.
Really?
Life. Forget career. Can't say career. Best year of my life. My dad was stuck with me during lockdown. And we'd done a lot of making up time. So we were stuck together in my house for 4 months, and it was I bonded with my dad a lot in that time because it's nice to have your parents here. When you're young, you can't wait to leave home. You can't wait to be your own man. And I miss my mum telling me to make my bed and having a game. Stuff under the bed, I miss all that because it goes quick, and once it's gone, it don't come back. So for me, my dad to be stuck here on lockdown with me, we were training together, we were having a laugh together, we was having cooking competitions together, and it was a dream. So did I miss my other siblings? Of course, but it just filled that void. I realised that when he left, that big void that I got, in my life of not having my family there. So lockdown for me was productive. I chose to use it to better myself in my career, my boxing ability. But like sometimes you got to forget boxing for a minute, because I can get so caught up in boxing and forget real life. And, you know, it can all be about boxing, and I can sometimes never come out of that boxing mindset. And really, I've got a baby on the way, a big house renovation going on, my family. And sometimes life, you need to put just as much into life as I do in my career. And I feel like I'm getting a good balance of that.
Did you feel like you and your dad kind of needed to be put together and forced to not be able to leave and move and go everywhere else? Is that something you needed?
No, because me and my dad just sit indoors, watch Tipping Point anyway. Me and my dad love Tipping Point. And do you know what I don't understand? He'll always rewind. He'll fast forward it all the way to the end to see if they've won. So if you miss the whole thing, fast forward it to the end. And then if they win, he'll rewind the win. And I'm thinking, what is the matter with you, mate? And I realised that we're so much alike, me and my dad. Like, I watch couples come down with me, and I just, you know, watch that. That's all I watch on TV. I don't watch nothing else. And then when my dad was over, all he watched was Tipping Point, and I had this same mad method of fast forwarding to the end and then rewinding it. So, and then I realised, man, you know what, we're so much more alike. Do you know what I mean? As I've got older, I seem to become more and more like you, and that worries me.
I want you to kind of, for those of us out there, including me, who will never get into a ring, will never kind of have a fight as you do, certainly at the level that you do. Can you kind of put us into the mindset you're in that ring? So you're looking across the ring at your opponent. What are you feeling there? Because he wants to knock your block off, you want to knock his block off. What are you feeling?
What am I thinking? Honestly, I can't wait to give you a good beating. That's what I think. Like, I look at him, I think, yeah, all right then. And it's like, yeah, like, I just don't know, I get really aggressive in there. Like after, like, the nerve, you know, like the nerve you got to think you can, you know, have it with me. And then I get all right, I get all, you know, revved up and then just want to go. Do you know what I mean? Like, come on. Like, and when they're waiting to do the bell, I'm like, listen, do the bell. Do you know what I mean? I feel like just going to the ring, hurry up, ding ding, and then straight into the game. You're just so focused. I mean, there could be Mickey Mouse and King Kong sitting ringside, and you're just so switched on and focused on the fight that you just see your opponent. It's like you're just a target, you know, and that's all you focus on. And yeah, I just can't wait for the fight to actually start and land the first punch.
How many weeks out do you kind of start feeling that? Is it because in the weeks before, is there any kind of anxiousness or nervousness or anything like that?
No. So I've been working with my coach, performance coach called Chris at Leap 76, and he explained things to me, broke it all down for me as to why I think the way I think and leading up to the fight. And it's all like a drum. 10 weeks out, your confidence, your nerves, you sort of hover like that. And then closer to the fight, say 4 weeks out, it starts going like that. And then when you're 2 weeks out, it starts fluctuating a bit more. Then on fight week, it's like a drum.
Yeah.
And then you start thinking mad things. It's just crazy. But you do have nerves on fight week, not necessarily the opponent. It's more so not performing the way I know I should be performing. Not doing what I'm supposed to do. But the reality is, I've done it for 10 whole weeks. Why am I not going to deliver come fight night? So it's like rational thinking. When you think logically, you know, I had Formella's number 10 weeks ago. You know, it should have never ever been anything to get nervous about. But it's never the opponent. It's always myself. I always bet on myself.
Before you started working with that kind of mentality coach, were you able to get over that yourself, or did it take him to kind of help you?
It took him to help me acknowledge and realise why I think the way I think. Why am I feeling nervous now? Why am I thinking these mad thoughts I've not thought for a whole 10 weeks, become fight week, all of a sudden you got these things popping in your head. And it took for him to explain it to me to realise, and it's not just me, you know, it's anyone in competitive sport or anyone in, you know, business, whatever it is, any successful person, or you just have these thoughts, or it's just the way it is, how the brain works. And then once you acknowledge them, and then he goes to me, Conor, listen, think logically for a minute. Like, put your emotions aside, think logically. You've done this for a whole 10 weeks and not had one bad spar. You're sparring 2 super middleweights with the 18-ounce gloves on. And how's this welterweight going to trouble you? But it's logic, you know, and I'm thinking, well, yeah, but what if I don't slip that jab to right hand, left hook him, although I've been throwing it about 1,000 times throughout the camp? So, you know, and I think them nerves keep you on form. That fear factor keeps you on edge. I think you need that to be sharp.
I don't know if you saw, there was an interview recently with Mike Tyson where he said something very similar about needing the pressure, needing the nerves. But he also said that he never even considers losing. It's just not, he just doesn't even think about it. Is that the same with you? You just don't consider losing in the end? Or
what I've really proven in one of my fights, I can go to hell and back. So, and if it needs to be done, it needs to be done. Formella didn't trouble me whatsoever, not in the slightest. And that makes you less alert, less weary, less, you know, sharp. Because when they're throwing their kitchen sink at you and it ain't hurting you, go on then. Do you know what I mean? Whereas when you got someone who can half dig, you're thinking, cool, you know, I'll have a little move about it. I'll make sure I'll move my head after I throw. So, you know, that's the truth. Pressure makes diamonds. And, you know, I'm built for that.
Looking forward then, in terms of the people you want to be fighting in the future and what you want to achieve in the future, what does 2021 look like for you?
Well, hopefully get Samuel Vargas over here for March. You know, I'd like to do 12 rounds with him. And, you know, that's a fight. You know, I folded a Mexican before, I'll fold a Mexican again. So, you know, it's I'm ready to go. He's a tough South American fighter. So, I mean, you know they're tough. You know they bring the heat. And, you know, that gets me going.
I don't think people would forgive me if I didn't ask you about Josh Kelly. Is that kind of big domestic dust-up, is that going to happen in 2021?
Let's hope so. I mean, he's got a big challenge ahead of himself with Avanesian. And listen, you've got to back the Brit. You've got to back the Brit. No matter what the differences are between you and whoever, you've got to back the Brit. And I hope Kelly beats him. Am I struggling to see it? Yeah. Because I rate Avanesian, you know, a lot. So it's I just hope he comes through it, because then it makes for a big mystic.
Who do you think gives you the most trouble in the welterweight division?
It's hard to say, because I'm learning so much. I'm learning by the minute. Do you know what I mean? I grow daily. It's like, so as if you don't know me yesterday, you don't know me no more. That's how quick I grow. So I don't know.
But on social media, when you've had your last fight and you're hearing people saying most improved fighter, such a big leap in years, this guy's taken so much improvement. How does that make you feel? Does that make you feel good?
It makes me think people acknowledge my graft. But then it also makes me feel privileged that the British public have seen me from a raw novice to now becoming, you know, a world contender, which I am. So how did I get here? Hard work. That's how I got here. So for those other fighters, young fighters who aren't that great now, trust me, you know, work overtime, work overshift. It all comes down to how bad do you want it. You know, don't let someone who's so gifted can train 1 hour a day and it's just unbelievable. Well, you might have to work 5 hours to do his one. But it all matters down to how bad do you want it. I'm telling you, I used to get my head pummeled in the gym. Like, oh, mate, I used to have sore head, you know, for months. For months, I used to have a sore head, sparring the likes of Ricky Burns, Martin Ward, You know, Ted Cheeseman. This was like early on in my career, and Kevin Mitchell, and God, it was hard work. And boy, did they let me know about the pro game. But I was eager to grow and better myself and reach my full potential, whatever that is. I don't know where I'm going to end up, but what I do know is I'll give this 400%.
Was there ever a moment where you felt, oh, I don't know if this is, like when you're getting your head boxed off, I don't know if this is for me, you know what I mean? Like,
Of course I have. Of course I have. About 2 of my fights. My second fight, I was like, nah, this ain't for me. And somehow I carried on. And then my fight, well, I got put down twice in the first round. I thought, nah, this ain't for me, mate. This ain't for me. Somehow you just persevere. And I think that's just the character quality I've got. It's just overcoming, man. Because once you overcome, it's like when you break a bone. The bone heals back. The bone comes back stronger. It heals stronger. So I think life, you know, gives you cards. You've got to play the cards you dealt, and you know, find a way to win.
I'm just going to go into some reader questions now, then, Conor. So I've got one here from Call Matt Garvey, who says, "What advice would you give to a young amateur wanting to progress?"
Work on your mindset, because your mindset's just as important as the physical. And I think people speak about mental health now quite a lot, and it's more spoken about. But when you've got a strong mindset, you can half get through anything. When you've got a strong mindset, the will to win. Because if you do want to progress, you're going to have hurdles. But if your mind ain't strong enough to overcome them hurdles, you won't. You'll call it quits at the first hurdle. You're gonna get beat. You're gonna get your head punched in the gym. You're gonna have hard spars. You're gonna have to get up and train hard. You're gonna have to diet, not eat the McDonald's, not eat this and not eat that. You're gonna have to make sacrifices. You're gonna have to put overtime in. So, but you have to have a strong mind to do that. Work on your mindset, and everything else will follow.
Do you have any advice for working on your mindset? Things he can do.
Be surrounded by good people. I know when you're young, it's you won't listen to your parents. I mean, if I didn't listen to a 2-time world champion, he'd done it. He definitely ain't going to listen to his parents. So, but if you do listen to your parents, good on you. Likeliness out of 10, I'd say probably 8 you won't. So find good friends. It's so important. You are the 5 people you hang around, they say. So find good people. You're not missing out on nothing. I think he needs someone like me in his life to tell them, listen, you're not missing out on nothing. Because if you work hard now, you'll be better than where I am now. But I started late. If you worked hard now, when you're my age, you'll have double what I have. Because you've worked hard now. You've made the sacrifice of not doing that early. You made the sacrifice of not going out drinking with your mates. You made the sacrifice of not going out eating rubbish food, messing around with girls. Unless you find a good woman, obviously, you know, and who's good for you, who helps you, spurs you on. So it's all down to the route you choose to take. Ultimately, your life is in your hands.
Next question is from someone whose username is original Schmeat. So what's the most effective tool for keeping your fat percentage down?
Slow, long runs. That's what I do. So when you can run, just a little tip. So when you can run and talk at the same time, that's a fat burner. So you want to run and talk at the same time, and you want to run for, 40 minutes to an hour. If you're able to talk, you should be able to do 40 minutes, like a breeze jog. Obviously, everyone's pace is different. I could probably run, 8K in 40 minutes, just jogging and still able to talk. Some may be able to only run 3K, but you'd have to do it for a long period of time. Slow run, able to talk with your partner or watch your heart rate zone. And you don't want to do cardiovascular training. You want to, do slow, steady runs. It's for me what gets the fat percentage down. That's
what I do. So I actually sing. If I've got music on, I'll sing the song. I look nuts, but that's what I'll do.
Are you that guy?
And then I'll get singing along when I'm running.
So you'll run a slow, steady run and still talk, and then you're doing a fat burner because you're not out of breath, working your body too hard.
Yeah. So yeah, a couple of people asked this then. So what keeps you motivated every day, and what pushes you to keep going during difficult times?
What keeps me motivated? The fact I've got a baby on the way really massively helps. The sacrifice already made has already been made. So I don't want to regret that sacrifice. So no matter how hard the going gets, no matter how tough it gets, you know, I've got to win. Provide a better life for my family. I want to give my son no less than my dad gave his children. And that's ultimately my motivation. I no longer do it for the materialistic things. It's not all about materialistic things. It's about securing life for my son's future. And yeah, I mean, I've got my little boy to think about now. So if you don't have kids, success is what motivates me. Reaching my full potential, succeeding, be successful at whatever it is I choose to do. That's my motive. And when the going gets tough, listen, you know what they say, tough times don't last, tough people do. I know it's people say that and it can be a bit cool, but it's the truth. You know, listen, you've got to have the bad times to appreciate the good. It comes hand in hand, life does. You know, bad times, good times, you know, sad, happy. There's always a positive to a negative. And if it was all positive, then you won't appreciate it. So you're going to have to go through hard times. You have to go through hardship. And, you know, you're gonna fail. It's not even failing. You're gonna have losses, which are lessons, really. You know, it's only a fail if you quit. You only failed if you stop at the first hurdle. Nah, man, you got to persevere. You got to do that diligently.
Okay. Dan Vieira is asking, when is it too late to start a career in boxing?
Depends how gifted you are. You know, because time isn't on your side. If you're like 25 and you've just started boxing, you have to be pretty good to compete with the people who have been doing it since they were 15. So, you know, if you're gifted, you can do it. It all depends on the individual. It's never too late to do anything. When you're looking at Roy Jones and Tyson coming out at 53 and you know, people saying they beat most heavyweights now, it all depends on how much you want it.
Alexandra Botta is asking, do you train your upper body with weights? And if so, what exercises do you do?
Out of camp, I do my own weights. I do free weights, you know, normal weightlifting, you know, triceps, shoulders, abs, chest, back, legs. I do the normal lifting, so tricep extensions, 10 reps, 4 sets. I'd do that with, I don't know, bench press, bench back, you know, the normal weightlifting routine. Then when I get into camp, because I enjoy weights, that's why I done PT, was because I enjoy doing weights. And I have a passion for, you know, the pump, getting the all vascular. I love that sort of feeling. But then when I'm with my strength and conditioning coach in camp, we then focus on the explosive training, more dynamic, meeting numbers. You know, we measure my velocity and the speed of how quick I'm lifting the weight, and we train more sport specific. Whereas where I train on my own, I isolate my muscles. I'll do triceps and chest, or I'll superset it with a normal lift, a bodybuilder sort of style weightlifting routine.
So do you find that helps you with the kind of using weights as well? You wouldn't never just go pure boxing?
I'm an explosive fire. I'm a power fire. I'm a powerhouse. And I need that weight. I'm not long and ragey and I'm explosive. I need that explosive lift. But also you don't want to put on too much muscle mass because it's not needed. It's not needed at all. So we make sure we get the good balance right. I enjoy weightlifting out of camp. That's my hobby. And so I've already trained weights today at 6:30 this morning. And then when I get into camp, I won't be doing none of my bodybuilder weightlifting, so to speak, and we'll focus on sport-specific training.
let's get to the quick fire round now then. So this is just kind of one word answers to these kind of. So would you rather take a punch to the face or a punch to the body?
A punch to the face.
Really?
Yeah,
I
100%.
thought it hurts more to the body.
Yeah, listen, when you get hit with a good body shot, you know about it. When you get it to the head, you know, you can sort of regroup and come again. When you get it to the body, I'm telling you, mate, when you get hit with a bad body shot, I'm telling you, mate, it hurts.
Okay, I mean, this is no offense to either of these people, but would you rather walk out to Celine Dion's music or Elton John's music?
Celine Dion.
Any particular song?
Nah, I don't know.
Is there anyone you kind of listen to in the car and you think, I'd really like to walk into them, but like I just couldn't do it?
There isn't. I don't even know much Celine Dion tracks, to be honest.
All I know, to be honest, is Titanic, but and I don't think you could ever walk into Titanic.
Who would it though?
So do you prefer early morning runs or late night runs?
Early morning runs.
Okay. What's your favourite punch?
Left hook.
And would you rather fight for the title or fight for a big payday?
Depends how much we're talking.
It depends how much we're talking. It depends what title.
Bosh, you answered the question for me. It depends. Exactly that.
So yeah, that's all my questions then, Conor. Like I said at the beginning, look, thanks a lot for taking the time out. Thanks a lot for speaking with me. It's been really interesting. Hopefully our readers have got something out of that too. And hopefully, like I said before, there'll be some kind of big domestic dust-ups that we'll see you in next year, or this year, sorry.
Well, do you know what? It's nice because I get to be transparent. So this platform, if it helps any people in terms of mindset and just the way I think, the hardest fight is life. That's the hardest fight. So when you think I'm tough for getting in the ring, I know people are battling stuff outside the ring, and it's like, no, that's a fight. That's a proper fight. And then sometimes I think to myself, I don't know if I could fight that. So, and the hardest fight really is life. So I think when you have a fighter's mindset, you don't talk about a fighter's mindset inside the ring. I mean, that's not what it's about. It's about battling what life throws at you, overcoming it, and getting through it, punching through the bell, get to the 12 rounds. And, you'll overcome anything. I think what you just need, some people need that mindset. And having that mindset, you'll overcome a lot in life.
Are you kind of worried for the next stage of your career, kind of after boxing? Because you have this kind of mindset now, you've built it up. Are you kind of excited for what's going to come next?
I'm not thinking after my career. I just make sure that outside of boxing, who am I as an individual? Who's Conor Benn? What does he represent? What does he stand for? What does he believe in? Is he a courageous man? Is he a man of the people? Is he a good husband? Is he a good dad? Is he a good son? A good grandson? And I think that's so much more important than being just a good fighter. Because the reality is, we're fighters. We earn our money hard. Without the supporters, we're nothing. Without them, we're nothing. I think so many fighters forget that. Without you guys, I'm nothing. So I thank you guys, because I won't be where I am if I'm without you. And, I think that's something my dad taught me. The apple don't fall far from the tree. And he really did install a lot of things into me without me even realising growing up. My dad would talk with a hunger man for an hour and, have a full-on blown conversation with him. And I'm thinking, Dad, you know what? Like, I rate that. That's like, yeah, you're a man of the people. And I think that's, that's something that I'd love for the public to have that same full process with me.
That's a beautiful way to finish, Conor. I just want to say thanks again. Thanks so much for taking the time. This has been really good.
My pleasure, mate. Thank you.
Thank you, man. Good luck in your career.
Take care.
Thank you.